Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to my channel Papercraft Secrets. Today I have a very special video for you. I'm talking about ways to use up the tiny little Mintay pictures in projects. But not only have I got some of my ideas for you today, but I've also got some really great ideas from the Papercraft Secrets Challenge team and also beautiful ladies from the Papercraft Secrets Facebook group who have also come up with very creative ways that we can use to use up these tiny little pictures in the Mintay paper pads. So settle back and enjoy this video, but make sure you stay tuned right to the very end where you will see all of the creative ideas, and there are so many of them, of ways that we can use up these tiny little pictures. Let's get started. Okay, so these are the small picture images that you'll find in the Mintay 6x6 paper pads. I've cut my page into 3 strips, and my plan for my first set of cards is to have this strip of images across the middle of a card. And I'm thinking of using some of these rainbow stripes as the backing paper for where the images won't go. So I'm cutting these stripes into 3 strips, and there'll be nearly enough to do 3 cards. So there's 3 rainbow stripes on the top, 3 rainbow stripes on the bottom, and there's the row of small picture images through the middle. Just going to change, oh no, I'm keeping that same color. Okay. And I'm going to do this with 3 different cards, but I'm going to follow the same design. So there, we just glue that on, and if you're using the Kaiser Craft note cards, you've got that lovely little white border edge around, so you can just leave that blank. Now I'm going to mount these little pictures onto either, you could use double-sided tape, foam tape, or you could use some recycled cardboard, which is what I'm going to use. Also, I'm going to use some lace on either side of the little pictures. And I'm going to use a little bit of crinkled ribbon as well. So there we go. I've pasted my little pictures onto some cardboard, and I've pasted that into the middle of the card. I'm just adding the beautiful lace. I've created a bow from some crinkled ribbon, which I'll just paste on here. I've pulled apart, oh, there's a little white twine bow, and I've pulled apart a little silk flower, taken the hard plastic bits out of it, and I'm just using the petals to create a soft silk bloom for the front of the card. And then right in the middle, I'm going to add this little pearl diamante flower center. And then I'm just going to add a sentiment from the Mintay cardboard sticker sheet, and a tiny little butterfly which was fussy cut from the paper pad. And that's the card finish. So very simple, and a great way to use up those small pictures. You could apply that same design to any of the Mintay paper pads from any of the collections that have those small picture designs. So a great way to just get a couple of quick and easy cards, and a great way of using up all of the papers in your paper pad. So there's the recycled cardboard that I'm just sticking on the second card now. Just going to glue that down. So for this card, I'm using a different lace. So I'm just using up some lace that is in my stash. Gluing my flower on. Need a little bit of glue in between each petal to just make sure all the petals stay securely fastened. And there's my little pearl diamante center. Now after I did that, I just thought this needs more ribbons, so I just made another ribbon bow and I just glued that in underneath. So if you find that you just need a bit more, you can just add more in. There's my sentiment going in there and my little butterfly going on the top. You could easily make many of these cards. Here's our last one. There wasn't enough rainbow to get 3 lines out of that last piece of paper, so I'm just adding a blue strip. This is going to be mainly hidden under the lace anyway. This time I'm going to use this lace and I'm going to trim it in half lengthways and use half at the top. And then I'll use the other half at the bottom. Now I've already got a flower here that I had made before, so I'm going to change the color and go with this. So I'm going to change the color of my ribbon this time, just to make it a little bit different. And glue all that down, and then my sentiment I'm just going to add on there. Looking for a little butterfly, pop that on there. And then I thought, yeah, just a little bit more crinkled ribbon to fill in that gap there. This looks a little bit empty. And that just finishes it off. And the card is finished. And there's the 3 cards. They're so pretty. So now moving on to the second set of cards that I created for this video. I already made some foam flowers, and this set of cards is going to be a set of 4. These are fancier cards than the first set. The first set are very quick and easy. This set took more time to create and they look fancier. So what we're doing here is we're cutting some background paper to fit the front of the card. I'm making 4 cards, so I need 4 background papers. Now the measurement for that card was 4 1/16 of an inch. This is to go on the Kaiser Craft cards. I've used some double-sided tape, sort of mounting tape, to mount that on, or you could use recycled cardboard. These are the images that I'm using at the front and the back of the Mintay paper. I fussy cut out these 4 images, and this is the small picture that I'm using. I'm also using windows from the Fussy Cut window book, because I felt like I needed something else to go with these little images. And this is a great opportunity for me to use some of my windows. I'm just going to adhere that window down. All my windows I've adhered down now with foam tape. And each card has a little oval frame. Now I did make enough flowers for 2 per card, but I end up only using 1 because the flowers were a little bit too big. So I put them both on here, but I ended up taking them off later. I used the twine bow again. So here, this is where I choose to just use one flower. So I position my oval frame and I made a crinkled ribbon bow again for each of my floral clusters. So I use one crinkle ribbon bow and one foam flower. I also used a little bit of lace from my stash of laces and things. This is like a leaf design. So I popped that under first. Then I added the ribbon and then the flower on top. And the little twine bow. I prefer to use my hot glue gun, but I think it might have been charging, so I was just persisting with the other glue. I made these little sentiments because I didn't have any sentiments that really worked. So you can actually get these sentiments off my blog. It's a free download printable. And each of those is going to have a little sentiment on them. It's just printed out on normal A4 white paper, cut into a banner and then stuck on with some little foam mounting dots. The leaves that I'm using in this cluster are from the floral book, the first floral book, and they're beautiful, vibrant green leaves. So here I'm just gluing on the lace. And then the ribbon and the flower. There's the leaf going in there. There's the little twine bow. There's a little green leaf. Just trying to decide where to put that. There we go. Here's my sentiments. I'm just figuring out exactly where to put them. Just popping some little foam dots on the back. Just made just for you cards because then they can be really, you can use them for anything. It could be a birthday, it could be just a gift to someone. I often send cards in the mail, so it's a very generic sentiment that could be used for any occasion. Obviously on the printable that I created there's also happy birthday ones, so you could use the happy birthday sentiment and create a birthday card, or you could use one of your own sentiments. I'm really loving these green leaves that came out of the Flora book. They're a great space filler. I also added some butterflies from this collection just as a space filler at the top of the card. As you can see how there's that bit of space there and nothing in it, so that's why I really like to use butterflies, because they just immediately transform a blank area of a card. So I just picked 4 different colors. This was the Flora book. This is where I got the leaves from. I also then began to cut out some of the colourful flowers and some of those little versatile add-ons to build up my cluster. So remember that these I said were my fancier set of cards. So I'm really building up the floral cluster to make it pretty and lots of interesting things to look at. Now I'm just going through, I've fussy cut out those flowers and I'm just adding them in, and you can see how much color they add to the card. They're very vibrant. I cut out 4 of these little buds on stems and I'm using them to fill that other side of the card next to the butterfly. And I just cut out a couple of those tiny little blue flowers. And the last thing now is I just wanted to add some sparkle to these cards. So I add some glue to the leaves and I sprinkle on these tiny little crystal stars onto the leaves to just give it a little bit more texture and interest and sparkle to the cards. And it just makes the leaves look really pretty. So just decorating each leaf with some glue and some tiny little crystal stars. And then I thought, why not do the butterflies as well? So I put glue on those, covered them with crystal stars. And the very last thing that I did was I went around the edges of each card with some Kindy Glitz or some glitter glue. And I left that to dry. And that is our project finished. So we have created a set of 4 cards using the Mintay mini pictures. And now I'd like to take you through some of the other beautiful works that people have created using the mini pictures as inspiration for you. The first project here is a beautiful wall hanging by Carol using the Wilderness collection. This is a paper cake, birthday cake, created by Deborah Beer, and she used the Paradise collection. You can see lots of little tiny images fussy cut on here. Then Deborah also made, I think, 2 cards using the small pictures as well. Now we have Megan, and she created 2 cards using the Secret Place mini pictures. And Marie also created 2 cards, and she used the Old Manor collection. So great way to use up those small little pictures on cards. Nicole created a calendar, and I've got a picture here of each month of the calendar, and you can see at one side of the months she's got those tiny little pictures. So that's a great way to use those small pictures up. Plus she's got some fussy cutting as well layered onto it. And that was using the Cozy Evening collection, which is a very popular one. Nicole also created a card using Cozy Evening, and it has a little pop-up section inside the card, and this was the front of the card. Roxanne created a set of 3 cards using Dear Diary collection, and this inspired me to create my 3 cards. She's used she's used 3 pictures across the front. Yep. She also created some twist and pop Christmas cards using the Sweetest Christmas collection, and this has got lots of fussy cutting of some of the smaller elements from the mini picture pages. And this was one of last year's Christmas collections by Mintay, and a lot of pinks, mint greens and reds. She also created a layout using Dear Diary, and she also created a mini album using the Marina collection. So there is a photo of each page of the album, and you can see the small pictures being used on each of the pages. What a perfect way to use up those small pictures. This collection is actually discontinued, but I think you can still get a tiny little bit of it on Etsy. So some beautiful pages in that album. Lots of those mini pictures being used up. There's a close-up of some of the fussy cutting on that side and a little bit of fussy cutting on that side there as well. Judith created several cards using the Wilderness collection. She came up with some wonderful sketches and ideas on how you could use these small pictures on a card. That one is a little shaker card, which is beautiful. And this one is using the Dreamer collection. Irene was very busy with the Farm Life collection. She made them into the small pictures into banners, which was such a clever idea. Then she popped the banners onto a layout, which is gorgeous. And then she also created 4 cards using the Farm Life mini pictures. So she's got lots of layering on these cards and lots of fussy cutting. And they do look very, very beautiful. Emily created a cover for a mini album. And she's done a couple of these little mini albums, and she's used the Berrylicious collection. These make a lovely gift to give to somebody. And lucky last, Linda has created these tiny little tags that hang on the spine of an album, and this was created using the Old Manor collection. So you can see there are so many ways that we can use up those small tiny pictures. So thank you, Emma, for asking that question and getting us all on this journey of how we can use up those pictures. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a lovely crafty day.